Set in and around a tourist park deep in the woods of Eastern Europe, Eventide casts players as a botanist attempting to help out her grandmother by using her expertise to help preserve an ancient and mystical flower. This leads her on a journey through an ancient forest populated by colorful mystical creatures and, of course, a variety of puzzles to solve and items to construct. While the premise may be a little on the generic side, Grandma's in trouble. Magic will help! Eventide wins a lot of points with its high-quality character design and beautifully drawn backgrounds. Now, on to the hidden object criteria. This isn't a huge problem this time around. As with other games in the Magic Botany series that both this and Grim Legends delve into, Eventide excuses much of the artificiality of hidden object scenes by having the player search for specific plants in overgrown pastures. When things turn more traditional, the game also does a good job of building locations where hidden object scenes are likely to happen. There are crumbling tourist attractions, neglected castles, and the hovels of mysterious woodland creatures. A little clutter is to be expected. The game is acutely aware of this issue, to a fault in the late game offerings. To start with, the game tries to avoid the issue entirely by simply not having many hidden object screens in the first half. Eventually they start appearing, but other than the many examples of plant picking, they're almost entirely construction hidden object scenes, a personal favorite of mine among justified hidden object screen types. The developers throw in a few mosaic screens right at the end of the game, in which players have to grab items from a list to find the puzzle pieces that will unlock a container with the actual item inside. It's an interesting melding of 12-1 in construction, but here it ends up looking a little odd, since the puzzle pieces are frequently larger than the items which need to be clicked, which drains quite a bit of the challenge from the screen. Pretty well. The minigames are surprisingly fair. It's rare that I get through a game without skipping something. And the fact that I never had to means that, by and large, the puzzles respond well to basic logic and a willingness to hammer away at a problem until it just gives up. They also do a good job of fitting the game's world and tone. This is a forest of magical creatures and an evil castle run by monsters. Of course there are going to be elaborate multi-stage locks to crack. One problem crops up towards the end of the game. As the various objectives get a little more generic and less memorable, it winds up being pretty easy to lose track of where a particular item is used. And since the map doesn't let players know which specific room has an objective in it, just the general area, I found myself leaning on the hint button a lot more than the developers probably would have hoped. This giant bat bedevils the players for most of the game. It's called the Moth, and I'm still not sure why. The PS4 version comes with the bonus chapter, but if you're buying it on PC, I suggest that you get the collector's edition. The prequel chapter included in it is nearly an hour long, and it's one of the most satisfying story editions I've seen in a while. While not up to the stellar levels of the Grim Legends series, Eventide is quite charming and engaging on its own terms, and deserves to be mentioned in the same breath. The game coming to the PlayStation 4 gave me an opportunity to replay it, and I was pleased to find that it was as good as I'd remembered. A couple of questionable navigation design choices can't hold back an overwhelmingly high-quality game, and it's a great jumping-off point for one of the better hidden object series that Artifex Mundi publishes. This review is based on a copy of the game provided by the publisher. If you'd like to watch the playthrough that led to this review, just click on the rectangle that allows you to do that. See you back here for the next review, but until then, au revoir.